This is a common sight in South Philadelphia on New Year's morning. But it is not New Year's morning. It's a Friday afternoon in March, and the Quaker City String Band is not on its way to Broad Street. They're on their way to Aden Street in downtown Kiltimagh, County Mayo, Ireland.
Tonight, we'll take you back to Kiltimagh for the fun, the music, the event that everyone waited for. St. Patrick's Day in Ireland as Channel 3 and the Mummers go Irish.
From Kiltimagh. Hello, everyone. I'm Ray Murray.
And I'm Diane Allen. Was that Gaelic?
That was an attempt at Gaelic, Diane.
Ah, Blarney. It means 100,000 welcomes. Now, there are only a little over 1,000 people here in Kiltimagh, but still the welcome felt so much bigger than that.
It really did. Now, 25 members of Philadelphia's Quaker City String Band came to this tiny little town, but believe me, it was more than enough to bring the New Year's spirit to Ireland during St. Patrick's Week. Jet lag or not, the Mummers wasted no time getting into the swing of things, and Kiltimagh really rocked. First with some traditional Irish music. Then with the string band sound. Aden Street is Main Street in Kiltimagh. It's the kind of town where everyone knows each other. And during St. Patrick's Week, everyone knew the Mummers. When the Mummers say they were made to feel right at home, they mean it. Bed and breakfast is a popular way to travel through the Emerald Isle. For a few dollars, you get a clean bed for the night, a good breakfast the next morning, and all the comforts of home. For the Mummers, this was home. They were happy to be here, and there was no doubt the town of Kiltimagh was thrilled to have them. Everyone gave thanks the next morning at Mass at the Knox Shrine.
But in a very, very special way, I want to welcome the Quaker City String Band.
It was at this tiny church over 100 years ago that a miracle happened. 14 people saw an apparition of the Virgin Mary. Today, hundreds of thousands come from around the world each year to worship here. There were no miracles this Sunday, but as the priest gave his blessing on this small group, something special was unfolding. Friendships were being created. A cold rain fell outside, common weather for Ireland in the early spring, but inside it was warm and sunny. In a matter of hours, the members of the string band were able to meet so many of the residents of County Mayo and see so many of the sights.
One of the sights that we've seen every single day we're here is the rain. You know, one man told me that there are only 2 days a year that they're sure to have clear weather, and that's Christmas and summer. Rest of the time is just Irish mist.
Well, the Mummers didn't seem to mind, because everywhere they went, they were greeted with open arms.
From the moment you drive through the iron gates at Ashford Castle, you enter a new world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're very welcome to Ashford Castle.
Rising from the waters of one of Ireland's largest lakes, parts of Ashford Castle have rested in this romantic setting for nearly 750 years. While castle ruins are a common sight along the winding roads throughout the countryside, Ashford has gone from a stately castle to a luxury hotel. Outside, there are tree-lined walks and flower gardens, perfect for taking an afternoon stroll on part of the 230 acres. Inside, rich wood carvings, plush carpeting, and crystal chandeliers help take guests back to another life and time. But Ashford Castle has not cornered the market on crystal, and on any vacation, there's always time for shopping.
Oh,
my. Oh, that's beautiful.
This is an Irish 10-pound note. Now, it's worth about, I guess, about $18 in American money. The interesting thing, though, is that, well, to me, it doesn't look real, so it's so much easier to spend.
Spending it like Monopoly when it's trying to buy Boardwalk.
Thank you.
Well, you know, the other day, do you remember you were walking out of the store and you said to the woman who owned the store, have a nice day. She looked at Ray and said, one more Yank like you, spending money like that, I'll have a great day.
I remember. We'll be back with more from the Emerald Isle in just a minute.
Reception to the Quaker City Band.
There was no standing room, not even kneeling room, as Kiltimagh got its first real look at the string band. Never before had these people seen the sight or heard the sound that we know so well. It's hard to not get caught up in all the excitement that the people of Kiltimagh feel as they listen to the mummers. Quaker City played for about 45 minutes, but for some, that wasn't long enough. What do you think of the mummers?
Brilliant. Fantastic. Fabulous. Best I've ever heard. Brilliant. Fantastic. Brilliant. Really, we want more.
They got more, and before it was over, they were doing the strut like old pros from Broad Street. After finishing the performance inside, Quaker City moved outside for an impromptu parade under the stars. And while the band played, Ray gave lessons on the proper way to strut. When the mummers aren't performing, you can most likely find them in a pub. And that's because in Ireland, pubs are the center of social life. Guinness flows freely and often. The wine of Ireland, as it's sometimes called, is the drink of choice. But in Ireland, a pub is more than a place to get a drink.
You know, when you go to a bar in the States, you get cheap talk. You know, hi, how you doing, how's the weather? Here, they want to open up and tell you everything about their life, and they want to know all about your life, and they're sincere. It's not happy talk. It's real conversation.
And you'll hear just about every subject being discussed, everything from politics to the latest town gossip.
There's a bit of fun, you know, and there's often music and singing. Things like that, you know. Here now, they come in for a game of cards.
If you're looking for a hot game of cards, this is the place. The sign outside says Ford's, but everyone calls it Lil's. That's because Lil has been running the place all of her life. According to the patrons, that's 72 years. It's a small, comfortable pub where the entertainment is always live, always free, but only when the spirit moves an entertainer. The atmosphere is different a block up Aden Street. Owned by the Walsh family for 5 generations, the Raftery Room is the place to find a good game of snooker. What you won't find in an Irish pub are singles looking to meet other singles. In fact, one young lady found the idea a bit shocking.
You wouldn't go out to the pub just to meet, say, well, I'm going to see, can I meet a fella tonight or something like that, you know.
In our country, some people do that. They go to bars just to meet men.
I don't think they do here. But maybe some do, but I don't.
Most Irish homes aren't big enough to hold the people attending a birthday, anniversary, or other family event, so the celebration usually takes place at the pub. And that's one reason why children are a frequent sight on the pub scene, and parents see nothing wrong with taking the entire family out there for dinner.
isn't it? It's much different than our country, but it's fun, and the children just share with their families, so it's nice.
Anybody come in, you can bring your granny here, or you can bring your children here, you know? And everybody's made feel comfortable.
And that's what every pub owner works towards, making sure their customers are comfortable. No matter which side of the bar you're on, everyone will drink to that.
As you slide down the banister of life, may all the splinters be in the right direction.
If the pub is the entertainment center of the community, then certainly the church is the spiritual center. This is a very religious country. Sometimes it seems as if religion and superstitions, though, go hand in hand. If you ask someone about the fairies and elves and leprechauns of Irish legend, they'd say, "We don't believe in them, but we know they're there." In Ireland, they're called the wee people, although it's impossible to find an Irishman who's actually seen one. Legend has it that they live in what are called fairy forts, mysterious mounds of dirt that have been there for centuries. Many people consider it bad luck to disturb a fairy fort, but Kiltimagh resident Bill Blake agreed to show us one just on the outskirts of town. He says it may be connected to others that dot the countryside.
This piece here was always called McGrail's Fort. And the idea is, the story has been told that from another place over at the back of us here, there is another fort, and that the two are connected together by a tunnel underneath the ground. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Legends tell us that the elves and leprechauns are actually fallen angels who live not only in the fairy forts, but in the hollows of fallen trees and the thick forests where they're constantly dancing and getting into mischief. They will live in the hillsides of Ireland until Judgment Day, a strange mixture of good and evil, religion and folklore. From Spanker's Hill in County Mayo, you can see much of the surrounding countryside. It's here that Bill Blake told us stories not just about leprechauns, but about people who had returned from the dead. One man was coming home on this road one night when he ran into some Kiltimagh residents who had long been in the grave.
And those are people that have been dead for a while?
They were dead, yeah. They were dead. They told me. They said, "You're disturbing the peace up here." They said, "Go around the other way." And he had to go around the low road into Bohola and come up the back road again. All the way. That was no lie.
Nowhere is the folklore and superstition of Ireland more evident than at Blarney Castle. Every day, tourists line up to kiss the legendary Blarney Stone. And because that's supposed to give one the gift of eloquence, it was something that Diane and I were willing to bend over backwards to do.
Well done. How do you feel?
I probably feel as if I could speak absolute amazing sentences, very long ones, very short ones, and very quick ones.
There you go, lady.
How do you feel? Are you seasick? Are you okay? Are you stone sick?
It's supposed to make you eloquent. I'm kind of speechless.
Here at Blarney Castle, they really take their superstitions seriously. So much so that there's not only the stone and talk of leprechauns, but up here on the sign, there's a fairy glade. Now, you've been searching for leprechauns for over a week. Have you seen any leprechauns or fairies?
I did some serious searching. You know, after a while, I heard so many stories and so many legends from people who actually believed in them that I was certain I was going to see one. I kept looking out of the corner of my eye.
And here I thought you were looking for the beer at the... No, I don't know.
After some time in the pubs, you can see a few elves, yeah.
Pink ones.
Maybe I'll find some in the fairy fort or the fairy glade.
While he's looking, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more from Ireland.
St. Patrick is the patron saint for Ireland, but County Mayo is St. Patrick country. Among the rolling hills and farmland, evidence of his ministry is very much alive.
The abbey was built in 1216 by King Cathal O'Connor, the King of Connaught.
Nowhere is it more vivid than at Ballintubber Abbey. The name itself means Town of St. Patrick's Well. It was here St. Patrick baptized his converts, and it's here he founded one of his churches, a church still in use today, as it has been for 750 years.
So on this road, St. Patrick walked. On this road, the pilgrims walked right down to the centuries.
In Ireland, St. Patrick's Day is a holy day that begins in church. Churches throughout the country are filled with worshipers, and Kiltimagh's Church of the Holy Family was no exception. At some point in the Mass, almost everyone prayed for clearing skies. Diane talked with Mike Lapergola from Quaker City about the rain.
Because if we were back home in Philadelphia, I would sure think that we wouldn't go. And the reason we're here is the parade, and I don't know how we could tell them no.
They didn't tell them no. Quaker City marched under a canopy built that morning, carried by 10 men, in hopes of keeping the raindrops from falling on their heads. At 3 o'clock, the moment Kiltimagh anticipated for over a year had finally arrived. Thousands clogged the sidewalks, spilling into the streets along the parade route. There were times the line of march stopped completely until a pathway could be cleared. Kiltimagh and the visitors from neighboring towns were going to celebrate no matter what. As the parade came to a close, everyone seemed to join in the fun as they followed the band. Diane and I will be back with more from Ireland in just a minute.
Well, my friend.
Nola, thanks again. Thanks for everything. Right? Bye-bye. Take care. See you, Tom. Nice having you.
I don't want to leave. Thank you.
The welcome that they showed us there, we couldn't begin to pay back.
For 1 year for them to come, and the town is alive. Every place is bubbling, waiting for the Quaker City Band.
I've been a mummer for 40 years. In the string bands, and I have never received a reception like that.
All the kids were asking us questions about how great it must be to live in the States and how wonderful it is and all the technology you have. And all we kept saying to the kids was, you don't understand how good you have it here. You have a very nice social life. I mean, people leave their doors open at night.
Back home we would call it rain. Here it's Irish mist. So what's the difference? It's wet.
was ever a parade like it. Probably never will be again.
George, long life and good health to you, and may you die in Ireland.
Oh, not this time around.
In fact, the mummers have been invited back here to parade next St. Patrick's Day right here in Kiltimagh. And a few of them have said that nothing would please them more.
Well, I'll tell you, and I think you'd agree, I'd love to come with them, because nowhere else that I've traveled have I been made to feel so instantly welcome and at home. I'm really going to miss the people of this little town.
They are lovely. And they would love to see all of us. And they'd love to see you right here in Kiltimagh. I hope you've had a good evening. We've had a great week. I'm Diane Allen.
And I'm Ray Murray. Top of the morning.
It's nighttime.
Oh.
Travel accommodations to Ireland courtesy of Aer Lingus Airlines.